Hi there, welcome to the archives. This blog is titled Shame on You, the Spells We Cast, and the Power of Language. When I was in high school, I kept a quote book. In it, I kept quotes I read that I loved, including many quotes from the Chicken Soup series, which I also loved reading back then. In any case, I was known among my friends as the one to go to for cheesy and corny quotes if you needed them. I'm not sure where that quote book is, and if I did, I'm sure you'd still feel entitled to know what I keep in there too. Hmm? That's not the point of this blog post. There was a quote in there that has stuck with me, though I do not know who to attribute it to or the exact wording verbatim. It said something along the lines of, "Words are powerful. If you get the right ones in the right order, you can nudge the world a little." Something to that effect. As an adult, I see folks in spiritual communities talk about the power of words and manifestation. In the academy, scholars talk about discourse, meaning, and the importance of language. For my PhD dissertation, I used critical discourse analysis as a method, which meant that I paid close attention to how others spoke, the language they used, how it enacted change or not. I was also mindful of my own word choice at times, toying around with certain words, sometimes consciously, other times unconsciously, seeing how you all responded in turn, mostly energetically. This led to epic disasters and other times genius contributions. A wordsmith and writer, words are my lifeline. As a shame and emotions researcher, I get Google alerts sent to me with keywords like shame and emotions. I've been paying attention to how many articles are spreading globally around the topic of shame, and it's been quite telling to note how many politicians, news commentators, journalists, public opinion, etc. use the adage, shame on you. Why is that? I also never see my blog posts on there, so my website is clearly not Googleable, but I digress. Why do we think that saying shame on you will actually shame someone? Because we as humans understand the power of words and language in moving people, hopefully to conform to an ideal that we think we can shame them into in the first place. In the past, shame on you might have worked on me, as I'd shrivel at the thought of anyone seeing me as shameful or thinking that I was deserving of shame. But after many years of studying shame and working to heal my shame, something that is a daily practice, I have a different relationship with the sentence, shame on you now. I find it quite juvenile, hilariously manipulative, even, especially when used by conservatives of any race. Projection, deflection, denial, and delusion are huge themes that are raised in shame research. So I have a keen eye for when shame is being projected by some of the most shameful to deflect their own shame, myself included. A Google alert recently showed that a Fox News commentator who shall remain nameless said, "Shame on you" to those who oppose the trucker convoy in Ottawa, Canada. This raised some new insights on shame on you. Huh, I thought. Seems everybody is shaming somebody nowadays. Even some of the most shameful who can't recognize their own shame. Beyond that, I imagine the power of those words, the energetic subtlety to it, the spell that was cast in the statement. Shame on you. Shame be unto you. May you be ashamed. May you have shame. May you be seen as shameful. What if we looked at these statements as curses, as hexes, as spells? But so many don't know or even understand the power of language, words, manifestation, and spells. I look at shame in a similar way as Dr. Sarah Ahmed does, as objects. I find the idea provocative and compelling. As such, I'm interested in shame as an energetic object of flow and movement, circulating our environment, attracted to other like objects, which, if already accumulated in your auric field, will only find you. Even more if you didn't already have shame circulating around you. Did that make sense? Not really, not even to me, but just go with it. Said differently, if you are a person who society frames as shameful, read if you're Black or a woman or Native or Indigenous or a person of color or queer or trans or poor or disabled or fat or neurodiverse and or if you already struggle with shame, even if due to no fault of your own, I'm imagining what is happening in psychic fields when someone says, shame on you. Do they direct more shame your way? Maybe. And if so, I'd like for us to have more conversations about shame as an energy. As an energy worker, that is, I'm thinking, I'm hoping, one of my major contributions to this work in emotion and shame research. Because shame is a painful emotion to work with. So the very idea of saying shame on you to someone can be really, can actually be really violent if we think about it as an energetic object, knowing what shame does to people, which is why my work looks at shame as tied to Mbembe's necropolitics and Lauren Berlin's slow death. Shame is fatal. It hurts. It injures. Historian Peter Stern says that some Japanese cultures were said to have considered shame as a force that crushes. I agree. My pelvic bone, low back, and sciatic nerve can attest to this, although the doctors have no clue what I'm talking about, nor can they see the parallels, nor can I communicate it, because, alas, I suck at STEM. But that doesn't mean that folks aren't seeing or experiencing the physicality of shame. Even white conservatives in America are now saying that shame has health consequences, and they're creating whole bans to evade shame. They refuse to have their children learn about critical race theory in school because it frames white people as shameful and draws shame in their children, which they fear will cause their kids to have depression and anxiety. They're not wrong. Only they never cared when the rest of us said the same thing. All to say, cast your own spells at the shameful. Maybe it's time we all started saying shame on you more. To those who can't see their own despicable, shameful behavior and instead project their shame onto others. I'm a firm believer that humans are trash, utter trash, okay? Myself included. So shame on all y'all, including me. I personally don't work with spells, hexes, or curses. I consider what happens when my own energy gets returned to me. I put enough toxic and negative energy in the world in the past, and it did return, sometimes tenfold. Which is why I'm now the God bless you, peace be with you type. It's manipulative, same way. I know. But I do mean it though. I mostly love saying it to the haters, hoping that they're telling me shame on you or some other really harmful flex. Just so I can send back their own energy, their own shame, while receiving more blessings of peace. Because that's what I'm putting out. I'm also still toxic. Okay? I'm still working on that, but I digress. What do you think about language and words? Are you mindful of your word choice? Do you pay attention to how others speak to you? What spells are you casting? What sayings do we gravitate toward collectively? Have you checked in on your shame today? Are you building shame resilience, as Dr. Brene Brown calls it? Has anyone said shame on you to you recently? Have you said shame on you to others lately? What did you hope to get out of it? Until next time, in solidarity. Thanks for listening. Feel free to like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. I was told recently that I have to tell people to do these things, otherwise they won't do it. I mean, you're not going to do it anyways, but if you want, like, share, subscribe, spread the good news. You probably won't, but I mean, if you do, thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.